This is a screenshot from Tony Plummer's book on the law of vibration. This is the pattern that was hidden in the book, which, if you've never read the book, I strongly recommend you read it. The same pattern was encoded in the Gurdjieff work. The Gurdjieff work was where I did the bulk of the octave study based off of that work. Now, looking at this pattern, just some general comments I want to make on this. So I've shown this pattern in the past on the Bayer video. I've put all these videos linking this stuff together. I've put them in the playlist that you guys can go and look at. I recommend you watch the videos in the playlist to get the concept of the whole thing down. So when I'm doing, let me mention that playlist. It's the Robert Gordon and Love LOV playlist. There's 7 or 8 videos in there. I'll put this one in there. That'll be the 8th one, I think. Anyway, this is the general pattern of what this looks like. This can come in any time frame, and it has any different number of lengths. There's not just one length. Gann's showing one length in the RG7 days. Bayer's showing other lengths in the Egg of Columbus book. Now what I did, I mentioned in the other videos, the 3 days and 3 nights, the Jonah in the belly of the whale, and Jesus 3 days, 3 nights in the heart of the earth. New Testament, Old Testament, same concept repeated. Now, I had looked at that as 3 ascending and 3 descending octaves in the Robert Gordon videos. Now you can look at this as a swing pattern of 3 days and 3 nights. This general pattern roughly could be 6 swings with a 1, 2, 3 up and an A, B, C down, where your 3 waves and 3 waves are your 3 days is up, 3 nights is down, or 3 octaves up, 3 octaves down. That is the analogy to link that together. So now you can also break this down into a bigger sub pattern. You could look at this as possibly as 12 waves if you wanted to, but either way, this pattern is going to look different. You cannot expect this pattern to look the same in a bull market as it would in a bear market or even a trading range market. So what you have to do is be able to adapt the amplitude of this pattern. Now notice how this chart was set up. On the bottom, you've got the chapter numbers. So he's got those 1 to 36. Notice how at chapter 35, the C wave completes and the move up starts. This is indicative of what Bayer said, where one cycle begins before another one ends. So there is a little bit of an overlap there between the cycles. Now, if you look at the y-axis scale, where it's the number of pages in each chapter, so he's charting each chapter and then the number of pages in each chapter, and that allows for the creation of this graph. So now, if I'm going to look to identify this pattern, you want to look at these key points. So I'm interested in trying to figure out where wave 1 is going to be, where wave 2 is going to complete, where does wave 3 complete, and then just look for the bigger picture. Where does wave A, B, and C complete, the capital A, B, C. Now you can also look for these smaller points in between too, but look what he tells you at the top of the chart, where he says percent of 35 chapters. Now, if I want to know where these waves are going to complete, what part of this graph is going to help me the most to identify where I might get these particular highs and lows inside the overall pattern. Okay, it's pretty simple. I'm not even going to call it out because you can clearly see it. Now there's key points that repeat in every pattern, so once you can identify a couple of these points, you can then identify the rest of these points, and you know whereabouts in the pattern you're going to get these highs and lows. Now you can use the other stuff I showed, the octave counts, the price levels. You can do all of that, and you're going to find where these prices are going to go to. So you don't have to just trade off these key points. You can trade between. So let's say that that 1400 day cycle I mentioned with that 100 octave first, you could say, okay, if I'm at 0 days at the start of the cycle here in chapter 1, and then at the end of the 100% is my 1400 days, well, now I can figure out about where I am inside that pattern, and then I can trade directionally between wave 1 and wave 2 and wave 3. Can trade directionally using the octave structure to get those highs and lows on the daily bars and know where I am and where I'm going inside that pattern. So that is what that looks like. So it's an integration of everything. You have to tie the octave structure in to this pattern of the 3 days, 3 nights. And hopefully this little series kind of gives some insight into how to do that.